So if you put all your attention onto how awful birth is going to be, and you affirm this to yourself all the time, you start to bring into your life negative birth stories. People will start to tell you stories. They will come to the surface. You'll start to see really negative news headlines about really bad births, and you'll go, see, that's what's going to happen to me. Or you'll start to see videos will crop up of negative birth scenarios, and all this information that your brain is filtering out to match your thoughts and feelings, that is what will come to you. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ruth and I am a certified hypnobirthing instructor and very busy mum of 3. So if you're currently pregnant and getting ready for your birth and you're feeling a bit nervous or don't know where to start with your preparations, please do go check out my channel, check out my other content that I've uploaded, and also make sure that you subscribe because I post weekly videos with lots of tools and tips that you can use and learn and carry forward with you to take into your birthing experience, which will hopefully just help you feel more confident. And the more knowledge you have, the more power you have, and that is what will help contribute to having a more positive experience of birth. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about one of my favourite hypnobirthing tools, positive affirmations. I know that often when people hear the term positive affirmations, the kind of question, how can these really help me in pregnancy, labour and birth? How can repeating a few phrases over and over help me to have a better experience? And do they actually work? Well, I'm here to tell you, yes, they do work. I'm going to explain exactly what positive affirmations are, how they work. I have used them, I still use them daily in my life to make positive changes. And I'm also going to explain how they are scientifically backed and scientifically proven to have a positive impact on your life and why they are so powerful. So positive affirmations are short, simple statements, positive statements that can help to reframe your mindset. They help you to focus on what you want to happen rather than focusing on your fears and your doubts. Now, if you think about it, we affirm things to ourselves all the time. And usually we affirm negative statements to ourselves. We're used to doing this. So you might affirm to yourself every day, I'm going to be late. There's going to be traffic. What if I don't have enough petrol? There's lots of different things that run through our minds all the time. Even if we're learning a new skill or doing something new or perhaps doing something at work that we think or automatically assume that we're not going to do well at. These are affirmations, but they're not positive ones, they're negative ones. So why do we always reach for the negative thought first? We mostly do it because it's protecting ourselves, because if we expect the worst and it happens, then it's not a shock. But the thing is, if we constantly affirm negative things to ourselves, these are the outcomes that are most likely to happen. So if you constantly focus on how awful birth is going to be, what terrible experience you're going to have, and you keep affirming this to yourself over and over and over, it's very likely that that is the situation that you will bring into your life. That is the kind of birth that you will have. And then you can turn around and say, well, I told you, because that's what I've been saying all along. I said I was going to have a terrible birth. I've had a terrible birth. I've proven my point. In pregnancy, it's very common for our thoughts to spiral towards the what ifs. What if it's too painful? What if I can't cope? What if something goes wrong? And the words that we repeat to ourselves daily start to shape how we feel. And that's because our brains believe what we tell them. When you start to change the statements that you're making, when you start to say things like, I trust my body, I am calm, I am in control, your mind will start to internalize those positive messages. So what's the science behind positive affirmations? Have you heard of the Reticular Activating System, also known as the RAS for short? It's a tiny network of nerves in your brain that act as a filter. So it decides what information is important and what information can be ignored. As you can imagine, there is so much going on around us that we just physically cannot focus on all of it. It is too overwhelming. So your brain has to filter out certain pieces of information and only present what is important. If you can just imagine right now, all the sounds, all the lights, all the information, everything that is around you is so overwhelming. Your brain will filter what is important to you. So when you start to repeat positive affirmations, your brain will start to filter through more of a positive lens rather than a negative one. So let me give you an example of how this works in everyday life, not focusing on pregnancy, labour and birth. Let me give you an example of where it might have happened to you. So have you ever, for example, thought about buying a new car, and you start to research and you pick out one that's going to be suitable for you? So for example, a few years ago, I was looking for a car that would comfortably fit 3 car seats in the back. And I came across a 7-seater car, a Volkswagen Touran, that I hadn't really ever noticed before, but I researched it, I found this car, and I thought this will be really great, really suitable to fit 3 car seats in the back. After putting in that research and after putting my focus and attention onto that car and starting to find one, when I was out and about, I started to notice Volkswagen Tourans everywhere on the road. Now, I previously wouldn't have noticed this car on the road at all. It was probably always there. It's just I wasn't noticing them. But now that I've put my focus onto this particular make and model of car, and it's something that I wanted to get, I then started to notice it. What I was putting my attention and focus onto, my brain and my mind was then filtering through and bringing to my attention. So the same thing can happen, but with your thoughts and your beliefs. So when you start to repeat positive statements, positive affirmations about labour and birth, your mind will then start to seek out information and evidence that will support the thoughts that you're putting your focus onto. So when you start to use positive affirmations about labour and birth, and as you start to repeat these, your mind begins to seek out evidence to support those thoughts. So if you put all your attention onto how awful birth is going to be, and you affirm this to yourself all the time, you start to bring into your life negative birth stories. People will start to tell you stories. They will come to the surface. You'll start to see really negative news headlines about really bad births, and you'll go, see, that's what's going to happen to me. Or you'll start to see videos will crop up of negative birth scenarios, and all this information that your brain is filtering out to match your thoughts and feelings, that is what will come to you. And when all those particular things start to come to you, it then affects how you feel. You start to feel internally very scared, very negative. Whereas if you flip the switch and start to focus on feeling empowered, start to focus on how you can feel confident, seek out positive birth stories, seek out how you can get more knowledge to feel more confident. As you start to affirm more positive things to yourself, more positive statements about what could happen, your brain will actively filter for that positive information. So in order to make this positive change, you need to be consistent, and you need to start practicing these positive statements every single day. Consistency is absolutely key, because it's like training for a marathon. It's training a muscle. If you were going to go and do a marathon, you wouldn't just wake up one day and then start running, would you? So practicing positive affirmations every single day will help to rewire your subconscious mind. And it means that when the day comes and labour begins, you won't be battling or facing these fears that you have. You'll be stepping into a space of total calm and confidence. So you can speak positive affirmations aloud every day. You can write them on post-it notes. You can stick them around your house, or you can listen to recordings of positive affirmations as you're getting ready for work or before you go to bed. Pop your favourite ones around your house so that you can see them, or perhaps when you're driving to work, put on a recording in the car. You don't have to practice them for absolute hours, but just repeating these statements every day for a few minutes in the morning or a few minutes at night will really help contribute to rewiring your subconscious mind and changing how you think and feel about labour and birth. We already know how to automatically reach for the negative thought first in every situation. So let's try and retrain our brains to reach for the positive thought first. Wouldn't that be more helpful with everything in life? So to help get you started and to help start putting this into practice, I have created a YouTube video of some really lovely positive affirmations for pregnancy, labour and birth. So you can start listening to these every day, in the morning or before you go to bed. And if there are any that you want to create yourself, just put them in the positive tense. If there's anything that's troubling you, any type of fear that you can turn around, reframe, write in a positive way, write it down, pop it up, stick it on the wall where you can see it. But start bringing these into your life daily as part of your routine. With any tool or technique that I teach in hypnobirthing, it's all about what you put in is what you will get out of it. You can't just practice a tool or technique once and hope for the best on the day. This is something that you have to incorporate into your daily life every day throughout pregnancy, all the different tools and techniques that I teach. Because the more you practice, the more it will become second nature to you, the more you will naturally reach for a positive thought. Positive affirmations have helped me massively in my life. I used to be a very negative person, my husband will tell you, but I have put a lot of practice, not just in pregnancy, but throughout my life over the last 10 years, being more positive, reaching for more positive statements, not always assuming the worst. And it has had such a positive impact on my life, because with anything that happens in my life, whether it's something very perhaps worrying or negative, I always reach for the positive thought. I always try to think, what is the best outcome in this scenario? How can I make myself feel more empowered? How can I make myself feel more strong? How can I assume the best in every situation? And yes, things can go wrong or they can take a different path. But affirmations aren't just about hoping that everything will go right. It's about how you feel internally so that you can face situations with more confidence. If things do take a different path, you can positively affirm to yourself that you can handle any situation with calm and confidence. You know the right questions to ask. You know what to do. You know how to move forward. And they are really positive statements to make as well. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you found it really helpful to give you a better understanding of what positive affirmations actually are and how they do work and how they can help to reframe your mind for your labour and birth. I will link my positive affirmations video below so that you can go ahead and start listening to those, start using them daily. And if you have any questions about positive affirmations or anything that I didn't cover or make quite clear, please do pop your questions into the comments and I will be happy to answer them. Just another little reminder for you to subscribe to my channel, just to make sure that you don't miss any of my future content, where I'll be uploading more useful tools, tips and techniques for birth to try and help you have the best possible experience and to help you feel super empowered and in control. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you on my next video. Take care. Bye-bye.